The real purpose of being in creation is, as we know, to recognize the true reality, the all is, a reality all of its own, a reality aside from creation, and a reality that we already stand in, and that which we are now. For the real awareness is the real you, which is this real aliveness, isness, that is everything. And so, a personal self has been created and placed in a simulated reality, and goes through endless experiences, generated through a personal decision and the cause and effect principle of the simulators, that converts decision into the corresponding experience that reflects and equals what we decide, what we focus on, what our intents are, where we place our attention, are termed agreements overall, and agreements are then our decisions that affect our experiences. As we go through our lifetimes, we are constantly making agreement decisions, either an idea we have created, or an agreement to the idea creations of others. In our current lifetime, we will be making conscious agreements as we decide and chase what thrills we do. But as we transition, as we pass over to the next lifetime, that which we have agreed with in the previous life position remains, and when we assume the next life position, we are now unconscious to the agreements that we made prior to it. And agreement makes up and continuously adds to the created consciousness, which is our personal selves, lifetime after lifetime. And so, if agreement, that which we decide, affects experience, then all that we are unconscious of, all the agreement that makes up the created consciousness from the millions of lifetimes we have had, will continuously have us experience the effects of, in addition to any other causes we consciously set in motion in our current lifetimes. We are locked into the inescapable effects of our created consciousness. Creational reality bubbles, generated from the way we have programmed the consciousness, and so it is effectively on automatic pilot, as the bulk of our experience will stem from the unconscious agreements that make up its construction. And, of course, the dark force reptilian controllers have assured that our created consciousnesses have been programmed over thousands of lifetimes to agreement that is according to the reptilians' overall design, so that they can bring into overall effect that which they want, for they can effect nothing into overall experience unless they can glean agreement, an overall decision that brings that which the controllers wish imposed overall through the cause and effect mechanics of the simulators into overall experience. So the simulators are designed that eventually decision is made through the personal self to want to see and be more, generally out of a sense of boredom to that which is seemingly available as an individual's apparent limited reality. A process of recognizing the presence of a real awareness, a real you, aside from the created self begins, then leads to a gradual increasing awareness of the real awareness that we are, until eventually, with enough focus, sincerity, and gratitude for the opportunity being provided by the real guides and Dwayne, the real intent for the recognition of who we really are is met in equal measure by the revealing of this isness to us. And then the opportunity is realized to stand real with this true reality, and supersede the created self and the necessity of the simulators and the experiences within them. Simulators that were essential as to provide us viewpoints for continued comparisons by which to recognize the is by, and always something for the personal self to relate to put its back up against, as it went through its process, continued stepping into the unknown, taking the risk to see more and thus be more. Part of the process requires that we also must release all agreements that make up the created consciousness. It's not that we simply rid ourselves of the personal self. We require it until the point that we don't. But we must recognize all that makes up its construction, especially the subconscious aspect of it. All the agreements that still are retained within the created consciousness that we are unconscious of. For until we do, we remain the unconscious effects of that which we are unaware of. Our personal selves remain on automatic experience generating pilot, and so part of the process of ultimately standing as the free beings of light we actually are with the all involves revealing all the unconscious agreements that bind us to creation. This is what is referred to as facing all of the personal self and all of creation, a creation that is the effects of the agreements that make up the collective consciousness that is within each simulator. This is another of the many gifts of the guides, and without their assistance in revealing these unconscious agreements to us, it's unlikely we would ever identify even a fraction of them ourselves, as even one idea, one agreement, is enough to hold us in creation as the effects of our created consciousness selves. For agreement is decision effectively to remain in the simulators, as per the design of the personal self-cause, to experience effect nature, and so, through the connection to the true reality, the new you song, this will open up the real side, our dream arena, and the guides will take us through our process, our adventures, trials, and all that we need for our viewpoint comparisons, that which we need be aware of now, that which are potential opportunities that, if grasped, will move us along in our positioning with life through the risk-taking steps we take, and also the revealing of all the agreements that bind us here. Naturally, we have to decide their release, as free will very much is the right of every individual, the right to choose and decide what they will, which is an automatic process really. Free will is simply what we decide and agree to, and nothing in fact can violate that, not even the world controllers, as all they can do is garner our agreement, and have us use our free will to decide on idea creations of their restricting design. By this same token, the real guides can't violate free will either. We are the deciders of our experience, and this is simply how it is. The guides can show us the agreements that we have remained unconscious of up until this moment, but we must decide their release. I have found that during such unconscious agreement revealing real side experiences, that the imagery, scenes and situations that featured at the time the agreement was made, wherever and whenever that was, will play out. You tend to get a sense of the sort of experiences you are receiving on the real side. You get a sense which of these experiences are along the agreement severing lines, for often what you are shown seems very familiar, though you can't identify it as experience from your current lifetime. These are the flashbacks then from previous lifetimes, the familiarity understandable, as everything is recorded in your Akashic memory body.